stars. This is Resident Evil Billy's Report. Born in 1972, William Cohen, and nicknamed Billy by his father, Billy has had a tough life. As soon as he was able to do so, he joined the US Marines and eventually worked his way up the force. And he worked his way up to second lieutenant. Billy and his team dealt with a lot of sensitive matters, and on one occasion, he found himself in Central Africa, attempting to settle a civil war. Unfortunately, his team became unwell and many of them passed away, either from being killed or being taken out by their enemy. When they arrived at a village, his team lead decided that there should be no survivors and everybody innocent or otherwise must die. Billy could not believe what he was hearing and disobeyed his superior, and he was swiftly knocked unconscious for his insubordination, whilst everybody else gathered the villagers together and shot them.
Scum murdered them and escaped.
All right, everyone, let's separate and survey the area.
After the mission, an internal investigation began where Billy was falsely blamed for the death of the innocent villagers by his colleagues, with them saying that Billy had displayed severe mental health issues, and they tried to stop him. An evaluation was conducted which showed that Billy was way of sound and mind, and therefore was given the opportunity to defend himself in court. Unfortunately, the falsified evidence against him was so great that even the system was impossible to overcome. In this instance, he was sentenced to death for his apparent crimes. Sometime later, he was thrown into some marine transport and was being taken to his execution site, which meant travelling through the Arklay Mountains. All the paperwork was signed and sealed as his fate, or so he thought. Little did they know, a massive chain of events was about to begin. It began where infected leeches descended on the marine transport and attacked the occupants. This caused the vehicle to crash, and in the confusion, Billy managed to escape and find safety in a nearby umbrella transport train named the Elliptic Express, which was stationed nearby. After he began exploring his new surroundings, he was met by Rebecca Chambers, who was a member of STARS. She was also in the area investigating a disturbance and had earlier found a crashed marine transport. Inside, she found paperwork showing who was being transported. Initially, she decided to take him with her in order to turn him in, but as they were both in a zombie-infested train, which now began to move at speed, they had to work together. Their goal was to stop the train, and eventually they managed to fight their way through the train, which was infested with leeches and zombies, and managed to get it stopped at an abandoned umbrella facility. Exploring their new environment, the duo managed to uncover terrible evidence of umbrella experiments with the T-virus. In particular, an umbrella executive named Dr. James Marcus experiments, which involved kidnapping orphan children and putting them through hell until their death. His research concluded after his own assassination, but the leeches he created lived on and somehow continued his will. Billy and Rebecca progressed through the facility while being pursued by various creatures and BOWs until they were approached by a being who resembled a young Dr. Marcus.
Please respond!
Rebecca, I can hear you. Now listen up. We've obtained detailed information on the fugitive from a document found in the wrecked wagon. Billy Cohen killed as many as 23 people.
The creature was in fact the Leech Queen, which had previously consumed Dr. Marcus's body and took on his personality once his mind has been consumed.
It's gonna be dangerous from here on in. Why don't we cooperate?
In a way, the Leech Queen saw itself as some type of god, having been reborn with what appeared to be extraordinary power. Billy and Rebecca knew that the creature had to be stopped. The leeches were dangerous, and Dr. Marcus was equally as dangerous. The two together were formidable. After a long encounter, Billy and Rebecca realized that the creature had a weakness to sunlight and worked together to find a way to let light in.
Billy, he can't handle sunlight.
Once they had done so, Billy finished the creature off with a well-aimed shot to the head with his powerful weapon, which ended Dr. Marcus' second coming, and due to a self-destruct mechanism being triggered, the entire facility was destroyed.
Billy!
Hey, Queenie! Feast on this!
Later the two escaped and Rebecca decided that Billy should be let go. She finally believed that he was not the evildoer she first thought. So Rebecca let Billy walk away while she went to join the other STARS members in the nearby Spencer mansion.
Hey, that must be the old mansion that Enrico was talking about.
Once Rebecca finished her mission and returned to safety, she filed a false report stating that Billy had died in a Marine's van. After this, he was never heard from since.
I guess it's time to say goodbye.
So, Rebecca's report is in Resident Evil 2 for the Nintendo 64.
Officially.
The file can be found in the STARS office on the second floor of the Raccoon Police Station. It's sitting on top of Rebecca Chambers' desk in the back near the communication equipment. The file is only present in the B scenario. We're gonna take a look now. So just before we get into the file, Billy's second name, which is Cohen, in Resident Evil 0 is spelled C-O-E-N. But in Rebecca's file on the Nintendo 64, his second name is spelled with a K. On July 23rd, an MP vehicle was found inside the Arc Lane Mountains. Corpses of MP members and an unidentified body were found near the vehicle. According to the information from military authorities, the unidentified body was identified as former Ensign Billy Cohen. Following a court-martial on July 22nd, while Cohen was on a transfer via Navy MP escort, they must have experienced some sort of accident. The corpses were severely mauled, apparently torn apart by unidentified wild animals. The following day we returned to the location to recover the bodies, but they were nowhere to be found. Military authorities have requested that we hand over Cohen's body as proof of his death, but due to the circumstances described above, it will be a difficult task to recover the corpse. I am requesting that this case be closed until further notice. Raccoon City Police Department, STARS Alpha Team, Rebecca Chambers.